Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's good. Just getting ready to go to Virginia Beach tomorrow. Fly out to be with Jason and Dawn and everyone for the Archaics weekend in Virginia Beach. A lot of new followers on Instagram and appreciate it. The Alex Eck interview came out, and it was really great to connect with new folks. Things change really quickly sometimes. Like there's a lot of build up and then boom, and the expediting can be intense. And I think there's a lot of that occurring for a lot of people. Such incredible people, new people in my online course that just started this weekend, and there's a Sunday and Tuesday course, so you're still welcome to join. You can join at any time and catch up with recordings. But it's called Multiplicity. We're moving into some really cool topics in the Castaneda material, as well as just doing parts work, getting to know what wants to surface from our past as a means to help us understand our blueprint. It's just the fog here today, just laying out over the valley, is so psychedelic. You can learn to do gazing at the fog, and it's one of the most healing things that can happen, is to just allow yourself to be, like the way the sun rises on the fog and lights up all the fog, and then the fog becomes very psychedelic, and so you mix your sun gazing with fog gazing. It's just absolutely healing once you learn to be in silence with it. You can just pull over on the side of the road and just take it all in and change your day and do whatever you need to do to tap into these types of what I call the shamanic dreaming arts. These ways of the gazing arts are so significant. And I don't think a lot of the Toltec or the people that study the Castaneda material really know about how significant it is. And it sounds like all the things Carlos did was, outside of their reach, but it's not that difficult to learn gazing. It is ungrounding, at a stage, so you do want to learn to get really grounded as a means to balance your being. And so it's all not something to try to force yourself to learn. It will happen when it's meant to. Or like right now, I'm looking at the grass, and on the top of every grass, or every blade of grass, is dew, and on the sun is reflecting. So it looks like for me, it looks like a sea of stars, or like galaxies, when I cross my eyes and look at it. So I can hang out inside of that for long periods of time, and it gives my being great rest from my mind. I'm able to observe something that takes me out of my mind, because it requires total observation in order to allow what you're observing to become something other than what it is for others. And that's the power of our perception. We're really that capable of freeing ourselves from the physical world just through merging with what we perceive, and allowing it to become like a portal into your creative imagination, and the unlocking of perceptual doors. Obviously, most people need power plants in order to do this kind of thing, but my courses, if you continue to come to them over time, it will change you in a way that will allow you to access this type of perception without having to take power plants. And it really works, so it's kind of a warning. Learning to live in a heightened awareness all the time isn't easy. But there's an adjustment, you go through. But I guarantee and promise that it takes away boredom. And that was Don Juan's message in the book Magical Passes, that Carlos recorded a lot of Don Juan's words, and he talked about that boredom is, essentially what's in killing us, really. Like we're allowing for this intensity of boredom to not be transcended, and when the mundane is filled with magical feelings and abstract lucidity, and everything shifts, and you can go to work and still be in this pristine state of awareness. So I know it's hard for people to make that adjustment, but it's so worth doing. So shamanic movement, learning to gaze at the mother and see all the different ways in which she can free your perception. Practicing breath work until you feel really comfortable, and then once your breath work's dialed in, you can move into the recapitulation, which is just setting up a memory, like a snapshot of a moment in time, and just reclaiming your essence with your breath on the inhale. And then on the exhale, you're essentially purging anything that isn't yours, that came from that scene or from the people in that scene. You're just returning anything, that wants to be returned, and reclaiming your essence. So it's a form of soul retrieval, and it's very effective and magical. And it leads to being able to be very, very lucid, not only at night, but during the day. It leads to getting clarity on how to take care of your life, your relationships, your career. I'm just as excited to go back into construction as I am to continue to offer these courses. But obviously, anyone can go into construction management and be successful, but not everyone can offer what I'm offering. So I feel called to share and continue to do this. And I appreciate everyone's support in joining my courses or mentoring with me, as it allows me to continue to offer this. So, it's kind of like your favorite restaurant. If you want it to keep it going, you want to support it and appreciate the people that are. I'd love to keep running this. Rachel and I will be continuing to offer some teachings, and I'll be eventually moving into some invite-only training, that will go in a different direction as well. So my offerings will continue to expand, and I look forward to meeting more of you as you feel called to come. And still doing free consults, so feel free to reach out. I'd love to get involved in some other podcasts. I think Alex is gonna recommend me to a few people that he's close with, and so if anyone knows anyone that wants to have me on their show, I'd love to cover any topic or get into any kind of discussion that anyone wants to. Very fluid in that respect, and I don't get spun out by information, but I can go into it and make, I'm fascinated with the world. I'm not at odds with it. I find it all very entertaining, and enjoy speaking on a variety of subjects. Ultimately, though, for me, it all ends up being an abstract discussion. I take it into the energetics, and I think that's needed more than ever now. And I think people are starting to appreciate it rather than be, I guess, triggered by it. See more and more people that are called truthers, or really speaking of how important it is to do the inner work, and that's really good to hear, really good to see. Fascinating time to be, connecting with people and waking up in the way that we are. Deeper and deeper levels of hypnosis that we face as we come out of one level, we move into deeper levels. It's confronting work to do the shadow work. For Toltecs, for shamans, the recapitulation is important because it serves as a means to access the shadow work. But you can use me and others to help you in your journey, as I did. I worked with many powerful teachers for many years, And it does make a huge difference. It's okay to get support. You can do it on your own, absolutely. But if you're being shown to reach out, I highly recommend it, not just to me, but anyone that you resonate with. It can hold space for your process so that you feel like that you're really being heard. And in that intuitive field, many things will be surfaced, that are potential catalysts to you discovering where your true power lies. Your unique gift lies in any areas where there's still wounding. It's a strange sort of dualistic dynamic, but a lot of women that are really tapped in have gone through something really intense, because it's just the way in which, the veil lifts is often through something that's traumatic or disturbing, confronting. But it doesn't have to remain a tragedy. It can become a great story, a rich story of transformation. I encourage people to get to know their story rather than pretend that it doesn't exist. But also not dwell on your past whatsoever. It's not like that. It's like a tiptoeing. You go back into the areas that need attention and take care of yourself as much as possible, energetically. The purification that happens through recapitulation is actually so significant that all other forms of purification are almost unnecessary. But you will end up finding an impeccable relationship with food and water and shelter, and the things that you put in your body become, very the best of the best, because you're investing in yourself and you realize how important that is. So going out of the way to get the things that are going to make you feel better, even if it's a little bit of extra effort, the universe will observe that and notice and support you in that. It may not happen that moment, and I'm not saying be reckless with your finances and go buy a bunch of products and things that you think are going to save your life. It's more about food being your medicine, and realizing that a lot of the things that, your body is, it's just about listening, going through the process of understanding the power of choices. We make decisions all the time, and so we want to get to know, I look at it like having your future self inform you, and allowing other people's perception of things to affect you. So giving people a chance, hear what they have to say about carnivore or different things, because your body will tell you, oh, that resonates. That's what my body wants. That's what happened to me with carnivore. It's just completely the most incredible thing in some levels that's occurred, is that I just don't have to think about what I'm going to eat. My body's in a place where it only really wants, one thing now. And I know that sounds extreme, but it's just, it's repairing my injuries, and it's giving me the capacity to focus in ways that I couldn't before. Same thing happened with the fruit. It's because you're getting off the grains and the veggies, all the oxalates. So a lot of people are going to discover this, as we move into just deeper layers of the lifting of the veil. And I'm not against people that eat differently than what I'm saying. I just think you're going to see more and more people gravitate toward this, and the miracles that are occurring for people who were getting their body parts removed and replaced from arthritis, and now they're able to heal themselves without doctors, is a really powerful, I think, thing to look at. And there's more and more of it being shown to us. So I'm not saying it's an easy thing to get into. The detox that happens is intense and uncomfortable, and you want to listen to your body and where you're at and what you're ready for. The simplicity, though, of just really allowing your body to inform you of what it wants in every moment. Does it want to go on a walk? Does it want to be in the river? does your energy body want to be, recapitulating? Like, you can learn to be impeccable just through asking, like, this really deep part of yourself what it wants. And that's the difference between impeccability and discipline. Discipline is more fear-based. Like, if I have to keep these routines in order to maintain my body in a certain way. And then there's like, it's more fear-based. And Don Juan said that to deny yourself something is the greatest indulgence of all. And so we want to know our desire through not denying ourselves things, because ultimately what you truly want isn't going to be damaging to you when you get to the totality of your desire. But you might go through stages of different parts of yourself and getting to know what those parts want, like your rebel teen, or your, we often cope with our feelings with food or substances as a means to distract ourselves from the emotion. An emotion can get really trapped, like with smoke, cannabis, and tobacco. As powerful and beautiful as those medicines can be, for some, it's also a tricky one, because smoke blocks emotion. And so going through, giving yourself breaks from it will allow you to have emotional healings. It's going to be uncomfortable, intense to transition, but it's so key to flushing out the system and getting to know what's going on with you and your heart, where you're at, and on the more somatic, subconscious levels. There's theater, there's ways of role playing your past out. You pick a person to help you, and they be your dad or your mom, and you have a conversation with them, and you just repeat the conversation as it occurred, and then maybe switch roles, right, where you play that person and they play that person plays you and you play your parent or something, and then you get to feel what it felt like to say what your parent said to you. And then you can do it another round where you switch back, and this time you respond differently, and then the parent will adjust their response based on your response, and you can adjust the blueprint of things that way by just going back and it's retrocausal healing. And emotion will come up on both sides of that when you're trying to just repeat the words that you said, or even when you go to speak from your parents' perspective. If there's emotion there, then there's recapitulation work to do there. And just by doing that type of theater work, absolute profound breakthroughs occur. Some of that we'll be doing in my courses and in my in-person offerings here in Montana. And yeah, just the more people that become comfortable with this type of work, and the more we'll be able to do. Beginners are always welcome. You're always welcome to raise your hand and ask questions, and vulnerable shares are welcome. All of it, we want to hear from everybody. Everybody's story is profoundly significant. Everyone has a unique message that they came in with, and are here to share with us. And so we want to open the door for as many people as possible. And obviously there's going to be times where boundaries will have to be set, because people, there's a lot of wounded people that will attempt to distract the group from having, a flow. But they're just being used, by forces, and that the group learns a lot from being in situations like that. So it's not necessarily like setting a strict boundary. It's more like learning from that messaging and being open to how that impacts, the weekend or the workshop or the online experience. So we try to strike a balance there, where you allow some of some of what needs to surface as a means for everybody to have an opportunity to really look at what's going on when some drama sort of becomes potentially distracting from the original intent. But often if you look at it, it's actually not a distraction. It's just like a really powerful sort of representation. So like being on Twitter Spaces is cool because you get people that just, attack or trolling, or they're just attempting to, harvest energy from people. And you can learn to not give them energy, but you can still stay in the conversation because other people are listening, and so you're modeling how to not be triggered. And I don't mean like you force yourself not to be triggered. It's something you actually eventually develop, your capacity. You're not at odds with the person or the troll. And not that I don't still get triggered. I'm just saying when you're in that flow state, a lot of incredible energy can come at you, and you don't overreact, or underreact. It's definitely like, it's not like a passive thing, you still learn how to bark, learn how to tell people what you want to say to them. It's not like you hold back. It's just that you're not losing your center in the process, and that's a very healing thing to have happen. So a lot of people get beat up on social media trying to go into these debates and stuff, but if you're not there to debate, you're just there to essentially offer opportunities to extract people from the hypnotic trance that they're in inside of these spaces, because there's people that really want to talk about really abstract things, and there are spaces specifically for that. So there's different rooms you can go in and out and have really interesting conversations, and yeah, there's actually some really truly brilliant people that show up in these places and have powerful perspectives that can be really just like validating, because we all came to these understandings over however many years, and we're all having arrived at different conclusions, and then referencing those conclusions off of each other and kind of cross-referencing what sort of lands, and what goes away. And it does feel like the veil's lifting, where it's just getting more and more obvious. A lot of the people that are going along with ridiculous narratives that are still in the supposedly truth of communities, it's just starting to get more and more obvious, and that's good, that you can tell who's in it for the grift and who's in it for their own personal path of freedom, and that really there are people that really care and want to be of service. But I often share with people, it's not to be of service unless your cup is overflowing. Otherwise, you'll be, like the self-care thing is really key. It may look selfish to go inward and to have healthy boundaries and to take care of yourself. But this is the greatest gift you can give to humanity, is modeling that inner journey and the type of self-care it takes to go inward. And that often means just turning off the distractions of the world and immersing yourself in nature, getting yourself into the forest, getting yourself on long walks, learning to be alone, falling in love with being alone. When you're dripping with affection, aloneness is like a really beautiful thing. You get to play your favorite music and read your favorite literature and create your favorite mood and just be inside of it as long as you choose. And once you have enough energy to do that, it's just really healing. So my courses are designed to assist you in reclaiming your youthful energy, and then that will be a very powerful method for you to, or having these tools that I teach, the shamanic movements, the recapitulation, some tricks that eventually lead to heightened awareness activities like gazing and learning to merge with the earth in energetic ways. This will lead to you having a tremendous amount of energy that you can then really learn how to be with yourself in more and more profound ways, and have personal adventures, where you really listen, allow yourself to be pulled to the places of power in this world that will activate your consciousness. This world it's not about saving the trees or saving, the environment. This place is a holographic projected dream vision. It's all about consciousness. It's about being able to look at what's actually going on, to see through the lies, but not to be at odds with the liars. Just understand they're playing their role and potentially jolting you enough to become powerful enough, to really face the music, to create your own music, or tap into your own parallel being that is playing music for you. You can listen into the other layers. You can learn to tap into the infinite and bring that here into this dream and share it with the people you care about. And we all have magical gifts to offer, and I hope that you find yours and love yourself as much as you can, as you are, and allow your future self to guide you. Much love.